Good morning, I'm Luke Brown, and today's Motivational Monday. The horse that's behind me is Ryder. Ryder is an almost 2-year-old warm blood gelding that came to me for some groundwork training to get him more solid on the ground, get him to where he's not spooking outside the arena, not bolting, not getting away from his owner, and a number of other things. I'm going to teach him how to saddle. He's coming along, doing really well, and I'm happy to have him in training. I work with horses on the ground. I get them prepared for the saddling, and when they're ready to be saddled and be ridden, then that's when I ride them as well. And today for Motivational Monday, I want to talk about a phenomenon that happens so often with people, and it happens with me, it happens with probably just about everybody, and that is blaming others or blaming our past on our current situation. And so often that we look at our current situation and we think, oh, we're here because of what somebody else did to us. We're here because of what has happened to us. I want to tell you a quick story about Tony Robbins was doing a training a couple days ago, and I heard this from his friend Dean Graciosi. But Tony Robbins was doing basically a one-on-one training with a lady, and the lady was talking to him. It's NLP stuff, neuro-linguistic programming. And the lady was talking to him about how she had a father who was very abusive to her in all ways, and she grew up in a very challenged situation when she was a child, and she just had so many bad things happen to her as a child that she feels like that has basically ruined her life. Well, as they talked through that scenario, Tony asked her, well, I'm guessing because of what's happened in your past, you don't have a loving relationship with your husband. And she said, no, I do have a loving relationship with my husband. I have a great relationship with my husband. In fact, he's sitting right here. He said, well, I'm guessing you don't have any children, or if you do have children, you don't have a good relationship with your children. And she said, no, I actually do have a great relationship with my children. I have 3 children, and they're wonderful children. We get along so well. I love them. I care for them, not like my father did, but how I want to. I'm doing basically the opposite of what my father did. And Tony said, well, if you're going to blame your father for the past that's happened with him, you also have to blame him for everything that is going well in your life. You have to blame him for having a great relationship with your husband. You have to blame him for having a great relationship with your children. And it was like an epiphany crossed over her eyes, and she realized that it was because of her past that she has created her present, and she will create her future, and she'll create a much better future because of her past. So often we go through situations, or we have challenging people or challenging things, that we feel like, oh, our life is over, or our life is ruined because of our past. When in reality, if we will learn from our past, if we will learn to be better because of our past, then it's actually because of our past that our current and future lives exist. And we have a better situation in our life because we've learned from our past. So if you have somebody that's treated you poorly, there's a horse coming behind him. If you have somebody that's treated you poorly, whether it's a family member or a coworker, if you've been swindled out of money, or if you've had a situation. I went through a divorce, and I thought it was the worst thing in my life. I thought my life was over. I couldn't imagine anything worse than going through the divorce when I did at the time, a number of years ago. And now I have a wonderful wife. I have wonderful children. I have actually a good relationship with my ex-wife, and so many things have happened in my life have directed me to this point in time where I am working with Ryder here, working with horses, have interns, building a business, building an online business. I'll just turn this way so you can watch that horse. Building an online business, building a training business, building a business for trainers, etc., etc. There's so many things good in my life, and I have a great relationship. We have a son, my current wife. We have a son, Jakey, who's 8 years old. I have a daughter who's 10 years old, another daughter who's 17, and some stepkids who are in their 20s. And I just am so full of love and appreciation for those children and for my wife, Stacy. And if it weren't for my divorce years ago, I wouldn't be in this situation. And most likely, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing. So I want to be thankful for the divorce, for that challenging situation that I went through. And if you have a challenging situation you've gone through, or if you have challenging people that you've had to live with in your life, if you can learn from that and become better because of what you don't want to become, then your life is going to be wonderful. And it's because of their actions, their behaviors, that you are where you're at today. And if you're in a really bad situation because of your past, think about your past and how you can learn from that past and how you can become better. All we can do is learn from the past or live in it and live a life full of regret. So I prefer to learn from the past and create a better present and a better future. Hope you guys have a wonderful Motivational Monday, a wonderful week. Happy St. Patrick's Day. We'll talk to you soon.